Jimmy, this fucking guy from who the fuck is he? Kenny Herzog on MSN.com. What's MSN.com? That's
exactly.
Oh yeah. No, for
Microsoft.
No, it's the homepage like Yahoo. It stinks.
Yeah. Okay. The least humorous comics on TV, and the lovely and talented Jim Norton made the list, which is just there's a lot of really talented fucking comics on this list. By the way,
I was aware of this probably a week ago. Somebody told me, and it's honestly. It doesn't tap into my insecurity. The only part of it, because look, the guy's got the right to his opinion. I don't begrudge the guy if he thinks I'm not funny. The only issue I take with this guy, he's obviously a douchebag. He probably likes certain alternative comedy, is the intellectually arrogant place he comes from and the fact that he says, I have a gratuitously discussed race. Like, that's what bothers me. Not the fact that he doesn't like my humor. That's completely subjective.
Right.
He goes, well, you want to read the list? You want to go through the list first?
Yeah.
Again, first of all, these lists are, it's like, dude, they're corny. Every year there's a list, the Unfunny, and it's like the same guys. And it's like, I love the black guys he puts on the list.
You know, the only, a lot of these guys are not a lot. A few of these guys aren't my cup of tea, but most of them have had monster careers, and they are funny guys. Then maybe not my style. Like Sinbad is the only one I have to say I never liked Sinbad, and he's number one on the list, which makes the list a little rough for anyone else that's on the list. Because I don't find that Sinbad funny at all. Never did. Never fucking did.
But has he really been on TV lately?
I don't know.
I haven't seen him.
Is he doing Celebrity Apprentice or something?
I have not seen him.
I don't know. I never paid attention to Sinbad when he was, quote, hot.
But...
And then it goes with Jay Leno. Jay Leno's not a funny comic, really? That's the one thing that is tough to argue. If you want to pick apart his show, most people would say that his monologue is really strong every night.
The guy
he's a stand-up comic.
This guy from I don't know. I know very little about him. I wish I knew more about him. He's I think he's a Howard fan and he's a Conan fan. So I understand there's the two things that I am like on the polar opposite end of.
You want to get him on the phone?
No, for what? I don't have any issue with the guy. I don't really care if he likes me. My only thing is when a white guy says that I gratuitously discuss race, he's one of these fucking like music writer, blogger type faggots who is not comfortable with a white guy discussing race aggressively. It's like not many white comics talk about race, honestly.
Yeah.
So for him to have an issue with that, it's like, come on, man, you little pussy. Why?
Right. Well, here's the list. Sinbad, Jay Leno, Larry the Cable Guy.
God, of course. Of course. Yes, he's terrible. Of course.
He sells out arenas.
But it's just this predictable, same fucking... This guy's... Look, here's the crime this guy commits. You're a hack. You're a fucking hack writer. You're a hack writer. It's like, there's nothing original. Wow. Jeff Dunham... the puppet guy, is he really awful? That's the guy on Comedy Central you pick? He's a Flight of the Conchords fan, too.
Carlos Mencia.
Oh, wow. Edgy choice. Good choice. Dane Cook. Right, Dane. If you honestly... I know that what this guy's doing is parroting what he's heard other people say. Can you really sit there, even if you're not a Dane fan, can you really sit there and go, that guy stinks, he's terrible? If you're being honest... and I know Rogan has a real issue with Dane on a personal level, and he thinks like if you don't like the fact that you think he took something, but let's just say if you're watching Dane's, just watching him, can you really go, he's one of the unfunniest guys? Come on, stop.
No.
Yeah,
stop.
Jimmy and I, this goes back a few years. We were deeply depressed when we went and saw Dane Cook at the old Boston Garden, whatever the hell they call it now, and we're there. And the thing is sold out, so what would that be? 17,000, 18,000 people. He throws an amazing show, and then we leave to see 17,000 to 18,000 people online for the second show.
Yeah, for the second show. Unbelievable.
He did 2 sold-out Boston Garden.
Some people find him funny, I guess.
But even I don't measure like what I would find funny on somebody's success level, but it's the typical
I know, but I'm saying
targets.
Yeah.
It's the typical targets of one of these fucking corny bloggers. It's like, ugh, Jesus, dude, you think outside of the box. Same guys.
Number 7, Byron Allen. I'll be honest. I don't really know much about him. I know he's been on TV ever since I was a kid.
Yeah,
He hosts Comics Unleashed.
Is he funny? I
I'm
really
not a
don't
fan.
know.
I don't think so.
right.
I mean, but you know what? Putting him in there, like, just pull some obscure fucking comic that you haven't seen in years out of your hat and fucking throwing him on a list is silly.
But these are the 2 black guys he picks. This is why this guy is really just a complete little cunt. Sinbad and Byron Allen. Neither one of those guys, from what I've seen, ever touches race.
Yeah.
So it bothers you that I do gratuitous racial stuff. Why doesn't it bother you that any black comics do it? Like, why is that little hip fucking suburban guy who probably hangs out with his black friends and nods at whatever they say? Oh, good point. Yeah, no, that's right. Yeah, good point. Yeah, I wrote a little something for Spin Magazine. That irrelevant hunk of shit that nobody reads. It's like, you fucking coward. You pussy. That's who bothers you that talks about race? Is a guy that talks about it honestly, a white guy, when almost every black comic talks more about race. And when's the last time you saw me talk about that on TV?
Yeah.
I can't do it on Leno.
No, you can. That's just it. It's like,
I did on HBO. And
that's a while
where
ago
else?
now. Yeah, I don't know.
Where else?
You've had a shitload of Leno appearances, and you're right. I don't think you did any real racial stuff there.
No, you can't.
8, Lisa Lampanelli. To her or
No,
to the
I like
writer?
Lisa. I mean,
Yeah.
I mean, but again, it's
like-
a guy that's like, oh,
I think she's
what? It's
funny.
a woman that's talking
Yeah,
pretty dirty and.
she had a joke on her HBO special. She said niggers smell worse than farts.
Oh my
You know
God.
how brutal that is to say on HBO?
Yeah.
And she said it. And I love the fact that she said something so harsh without giving a shit about what the
And
context.
HBO let that through.
Absolutely, they let
Bravo
it through.
to HBO.
Absolutely. So there's another person that speaks rather harshly about that stuff.
Right.
That he, I guess, has a problem.
Frank Caliendo is number 9 on the list. And then finally, Lil Jimmy Norton.
And it's not, again, it's not even, if there were other comics on the list, it would bother me. But it's like, look, I know I'm a good actor. That's one thing I'm confident in is my stand-up.
Exactly.
Am I really one of the unfunny? Come on, stop, dude. You don't even believe that. You just don't like me.
One of the unfunniest, by
It's
the way.
it's silly. But I'll read what he wrote, and this is the crime he commits. He's not a good writer. If you're gonna write and attempt to be funny, don't try hard to use large words and sound smart. That's the problem with that alternative thinking. Stop trying to sound smarter than you are. When Opie and Anthony show co-host Norton was cast in a major supporting role on HBO's lovable anti-sitcom Lucky Louie, it kind of made you wonder whether the shorn-headed curmudgeon right there.
Why you?
Shorn. Who speaks like that? That's not natural.
Yuck.
That's embarrassingly bad writing.
Yuck.
The shorn-headed curmudgeon.
I had to read that a couple of times to even understand what the fuck he was writing.
Because my hair, I believe, is so short. I'm shorn-headed.
Shorn-headed.
Yuck.
Curmudgeon has long been overlooked as a true talent, or if show creator Louis C.K. just hung out with crappier comics to make himself feel superior. Like Lisa Lampanelli, and this annoys me, Norton is intellectually capable of quality material, but chooses instead to satisfy the basest expectations of his audience with contrived, excessively gratuitous sexual and racial content. Again, I'm trying to satisfy the basest desires of my audience by talking about race or Islam in this country, you fucking pussy.
Yeah, that's
you
what it
fucking
is.
irrelevant music blogging faggot.
There's nothing behind what you're saying, Jimmy. You're just out there spewing out dirty words to make people laugh. There's nothing thought-provoking, nothing topical, news, where you take things in the news and twist it around. None of that. He just hears cunt, shit, bitch, whore, cock. That's all he hears.
And then he said, in the final sentence is, and while he's certainly not without allies in this post-Generation X approach to edgy, and he puts quotes, misanthropic humor, Norton is arguably the most overexposed senior ambassador. First of all, I'm an edgy comic. And I'm not saying that in arrogance, but I know I am. Because what this guy would think is edgy is guys that attack Sarah Palin. And it's like, you sissy cornball, that is accepted. The media attacks Sarah Palin. That's not edgy. Doing racial material is edgier. It's what Catholicism used to be in the 60s. If you do racial stuff, that is edgy. Attacking religion or attacking Sarah Palin is not fucking edgy. And I'm just assuming that's what he probably thinks is very dangerous material.
Yeah.
So that's my issue with him, is basically the racial thing. The rest of the stuff, he's got the right to feel the way he wants.
He totally dropped the ball on you. He's taking this face value, what he's heard, exactly, things that he's heard. He totally dropped the ball on you. He's taking this face value, what he's heard, exactly, things that he's heard. Maybe even from this show. Who knows?
Yeah,
Has
I would
he seen your
imagine.
fucking act? Has he sat there and actually seen an entire Jim Norton show?
Maybe.
And realized that there's a lot of stuff in there that isn't just fucking, throwing dirty words around?
I would like
that there's
to.
profound stuff that you're fucking saying about society.
Society.
Well, that's why it does.
And he doesn't understand it? What the fuck?
Well, that's why it doesn't tap into any insecurity. It really doesn't make me like, sometimes people say things. I've read criticism on message boards that literally I felt would been valid, and I certainly didn't acknowledge it out loud on the mic. But I read it, and it actually did change the way I did certain things. I've never.
Really?
I really have. I've read certain things that I was like, yeah, there's a point to that. If they've talked about certain crutches I've used or whatever, there are times where, you know what, as a performer, I had to acknowledge people who listen every day pick up on certain things that were accurate.
Oh, okay. I could see that because some people have said, wow, you're saying this a lot or that a lot, and I'll be conscious of it and try not to. But that's more just a word or a phrase you'll use instead of your act, your whole that. Your act is what you're thinking. It's what you think when you look at something, and you're able to twist it around and make it funny when other people can't.
And again, what bothers me, and anybody that listens knows, what really bothers me is when people try to get into why I did something it's like, dude, you're not smart enough to do that.
Yeah.
You're not a psychologist. Don't tell me I'm being gratuitous. I'm a sex addict. That's been my life.
Yeah, so talk about it.
Yeah.
Don't act like I'm just creating this stuff to get the. I'm not afraid to work to do fucking clean material in front of the audience. Anyone who's seen me knows the first half is normally stuff that content-wise could probably be done on TV, and the second half is a little bit dirtier, and I do that purposefully because I don't want to get kind of pigeonholed into one area where I can't work on television or I can only do nightclubs.
And speaking of TV, because the list says the least humorous comics on TV, and his example for you is Lucky Louie, which has been off the air, 4 years already?
But I don't think he means that. He means my stand-up. But what racial stuff?
Well, but I mean, if it's the least humorous comics on TV, I mean, you've been on Leno and fucking Red Eye and Hannity just killing.
But I'm sure he hates all that. Do you understand? He's a
Kill-
fucking.
But he doesn't want to acknowledge that stuff. That's very current stuff that you have done on TV.
Yeah, I'm sure he hates Conan. I'm Jay, so of course I'm sure he hates this show or doesn't like it at least. And of course he doesn't. I guarantee. I don't know the guy.
Well,
he doesn't like Fox News. He's probably one of those guys that thinks it's rebellious to attack Fox. There was wrong, man.
Jim Norton, man.
I'm a shorn-headed curmudgeon.
Shorn-headed man.
Dude, you're a fucking lousy writer. How does it feel to be a lousy writer?
Could a bunch of the press ask this guy who he finds
Nicely.
who he finds funny? I would love his list.
wouldn't it be
I
great?
would love his list.
I can guarantee you.
Who do you find funny on TV then?
Ellen
Kenny Herzog?
DeGeneres.
No. I'm not going to say these names.
Who do you find funny on TV?
I'm not going.
Okay.
I've heard he likes Flight of the Conchords. Somebody sent me a link. He likes Flight of the Conchords. I don't. I know very little about the guy. I wish I did more
right.
so I could really attack him.
I bet he likes that guy. God, I wish I could remember his name. Liberal comment. I bet he's a Janine Garofalo fan.
Yeah, I'm sure he likes Patton. I'm sure he
Yeah,
likes
yeah.
Lewis. I'm sure he likes. Look, who are funny guys. Patton's a good act, and so is Lewis. They're both very solid, obviously. But it's when a guy is. I know he probably loves The Daily Show and he loves Colbert and he hates Fox. It's like when you
Margaret Cho.
No.
No, he probably doesn't like her.
Look,
Get
no,
the fuck out of here.
stop.
No, he probably doesn't like her. But he's one of these.
I don't want to defend this douche, but he can't be that douchey.
No, I could be.
But he writes for Spin. Like he's written for Spin, I think. Like,
Well, I
it's
want to know
like,
what
dude,
his.
You're a fucking.
I want to know his list.
Yeah.
That would say a lot.
The racial thing is the really thing that annoyed me. The rest of the stuff, look, he's entitled.
All right.
Is it silly? Of course. Come on, stop. Am I really one of the unfunniest? Stop it. Of course not.
Yeah. One of
One thing I know
unfunny.
I'm good at is stand-up.
Right.
But the racial
You're not
stuff,
the worst. You are mediocre.
dude. I have achieved more in average gift area.
You're a good stand-up. Are you a good friend? Are you a good boyfriend? Are you a good son?
Good friend, yes. Good boyfriend.
I was just joking.
But I'll
Jimmy's
compare
eyes almost
myself.
flew out of his head just thinking about that.
I'm in a Klaus von Bülow, fucking Charles Stewart category. Oh my God, I didn't mean to be racial because Charles Stewart, didn't they blame a black guy?
that's right.
Oh my God.
You know, Jimmy, you always got to go there, and now I see this guy's.
Let me
point.
the suburban white guy, who I guarantee you, this fucking sissy has never had honest racial talks back and
No.
forth. He's probably the snarky pseudo hipster who kind of stands there going, "Yeah, no, I know, man, I know." Whenever black guys talk, whether he agrees or not,
Yeah.
because he's probably frightened of them.
Petrified. That's why he, he'll sit there, agree with everything, never disagree, but it's constantly in his mind how he acts in front of people of certain races.
I would discuss race. Forget humor. You got your opinion, fair. I would discuss race with this blogging cunt anytime.
Yes.
Dude, and I mean this very sincerely. You're a lousy writer. You're a lousy writer. That's the fucking sin you commit. Your opinions you're entitled to. Your writing stinks. That's why you blog. That's why you write for MSN. Nobody gives a shit about that website. It's
what is
terrible.
that?
Let's say hi to
Real
Sean.
dark,
Philly.
edgy guy. Writes for MSN.
Sean?
Hey, Jim, what's going on?
Hi, Sean.
Hi, Sean. How are you doing today?
John,
Oh, it's John?
Whatever.
Great.
I was wondering, you want to get the Twitter goons there for this guy?
Yeah, you need the Twitter goons,
Twitter
Jimmy?
goons!
Twitter goons!
No.
Twitter goons!
Nothing racial.
Of course, that's too
Those
racial.
guys are black. Nothing racial. No, I don't want to gratuitously. I don't want to upset the white guy.
Yeah.
I don't want to upset the fucking sheltered suburban white guy who really has, I could guarantee, never had a racial argument in his life.
You know exactly what this guy's
I could
about.
I could
Come
tell
on.
you who he voted for.
Yeah.
I could tell you what shows he watches, what networks he likes. I could probably list 3 of the top 5 comics that he likes, and I can guarantee you that he's never had a true racial argument with anybody.
No,
Even
no.
though he feels a certain way, but he'd be afraid that stuff would be visible.
And yeah, people would interpret it as being a racist. When you have a racial discussion, doesn't mean you're a racist. Like it astounds me that there's so many, like you said, these suburban fucking liberal white guys that just think if you have a racial discussion with a black guy, you're a racist.
Or do racial material.
Or
That's
do
what
racial
annoys
material,
me.
exactly. Which, in essence, you're having a discussion about race.
Right.
You're just, it's one-sided and shut the fuck up if you're in the crowd.
And how is it gratuitous? It was logical. That's one thing I like about myself is I was very logical on stage. I think I presented a logical argument.
The only
Sorry,
place you are.
sorry, suburban white guy, that I attacked hip hop for being phony, for calling out Imus and wanting him
Right.
fired when they fucking their speech is attacked all the time, and the first chance they got, they act like a bunch of suburban white ladies.
But, man, those girls were just basketball players, and Imus had no right. And it's their culture and right to be able to do that and sing that and put that in rap songs. Meh.
Hey, sorry I discussed Islam. Sorry about that.
Yeah.
Sorry, Spin Magazine blogger. Sorry I discussed Islam and fucking and that culture and the fact that they were attacking a McDonald's in
Yeah.
Pakistan. Sorry. Sorry, apologist, suburban guy.
I'm sorry, too, you discussed that. When they're sawing your head off, I'll really be sorry.
Yeah, you and me both for being the Danish cartoonists are elbowing each other.
Exactly. Too fucking much, man.
I did. Sounded like a little tinkle on somebody's review.
Oh, my God. Okay.
Sound like
Did
a
you
little.
just take care of his review?
You might want to listen to the replay.
I didn't
My timing
know.
wasn't the best on this
Damn
one,
it.
but listen to the replay. That's what I think of the list.
Oh, okay.
Fucking blogger. Ugh. Just a
Some
blogger.
poor intern's got to take that out.
Ah, it wasn't all that.
Yeah, fuck him.
If it wasn't that's one thing about the internet that's annoying, is that guys who aren't good writers or aren't funny writers get that's the one
Have
thing
a
about
voice,
it.
yeah.
Because it's like he's probably never written anything that was, maybe he's been published, I don't know, but he's just a fucking. He's a music blogger.
Pre-internet, you really had to be good at what you did to get noticed. 'Cause, I mean, the only way to really get noticed by a lot of people was to be on some kind of mainstream outlet, whether it's a stage as a comic, TV as a news guy, radio. Now, with the internet, you just need a keyboard and a computer, and you are fucking a blogger who gets quoted on Drudge and Fox and CNN and has a voice. All of a sudden, they have this voice, and it's conceived as power, and that their opinion matters.
I'm just tired of the fucking the corny, unfunniest comics list, and it never includes. Black guys on it, or never.
Every black guy's funny,
he
though.
puts
That's
Sinbad and Byron Allen.
Yeah, Byron Allen.
But it's like you soft pussy.
What's going to happen?
I wouldn't even care about
Sinbad's gonna
black.
fucking come after you.
I wouldn't care about him how many blacks are on the list if he didn't mention race in the thing. It
Yeah,
wouldn't
of
bother
course.
me if he
Yeah.
didn't, but he did, which means it's obviously something that gets him. But really, I'm the guy doing gratuitous racial stuff, not Lopez or not any other comics.
No, of course
You
not.
fucking soft fruit. You fucking fruit.
Fuck him. Fuck him in his ass. He's fucking clown shoes.
Ooh.
That's right.
Yeah, I want to see his list.
Yeah,
Out of curiosity, I want to see.
Why, Steve?
Ask.
What happened?
He goes, I got a text from Steve. I called Herzog and left him my information in case you do feel like talking to him. No. There's nothing to debate. He's allowed to express his opinion. It's only the racial thing. But no, for what? Put him on the air for what?
Should probably ask, first if we wanted to go in that
Yeah, I already
direction.
said no. There's nothing. Let him blog.
Well, you said no.
Keep blogging.
You did say no on the show, so he maybe should have heard that.
Yeah, I did say no on the show.
I didn't hear it.
Yes, I did.
don't listen to the show.
I was relaxing.
I was too busy looking like a blueberry.
I couldn't. Oh,
Yeah, why call him? For what?
Hi, Steve.
sometimes you
Nice
change
blue
your mind.
shirt.
No. He's got the right to. I don't begrudge anybody for thinking I stink. I don't agree with it, but I don't. He's allowed to have that opinion.
Hi, Steve.
But the issue, it's like, what are we gonna do? He's just gonna go, oh no, I just think you talk about Ray, and then what's gonna happen? Where's it gonna go?
yeah.
He's a fucking. I know what he is.
Okay, that's fine. That's fine, but people change their minds. And it's just
I
a case.
understand,
All right.
Steve. But he's a blogger. Let him blog.